Hi, good afternoon. This is Ken O from Canton Chambers Lawyers. This is 12th of October 2018, and this is 8th of Face Live the broadcast. Uh, this is for we did the family category last week, and then there are so many demands of for further questions and further cases, and then ask for two more explanation of the family case. So we do this live, and then as a second part of a family category, and then the person who didn't see our first part, and then I will just briefly re-summarize of what's family category, what we have done last week, and I can do a brief summary, and then I'll give you some more questions, and then any answers from cases. And then, family is last time, and then I give some definition of the family, then how far we can define as a family. And then many people said, okay, my grandfather is a family, my grandmother is also family, and so how my aunt is also family, and are they included in this family category? I can say no. And then when you apply for any visa case under the family category in New Zealand, we can define for direct family, means that principal applicant, principal applicant's position for children, and then parent. This is only for direct family members. So family category, it covers for your parent and then your son. This is for covering, and also this covers for like a biological family, and also legal family, means for adopted your children can be still included in this family category. So it depends on country, and then depends on culture, and then many people like a very broad range of the family concept. Some country get a very narrow concept of the family, but in New Zealand we say this is for direct family, from like parents and then children up to there. And then depends on the category, relationship, family category. And then if this is last time we just like more focus on for partnership basis, and then maybe today I can say more today I can focus on more relationship matter, because so many people, some country people come to the main principal applicant first, and then once they finish for study or any find a job, and then once they settle, and then they want to bring their whole family members here as a pioneer, and then so many people ask about what the requirement, what to prove, what documentation provide. But my most experience, hello Tina, and then Maxwell, and then good to see you again, and thank you for joining us. And then in some update, I mentioned this one before, and then practical mistake happened a lot for the some country. And when you apply for visa in New Zealand, there is a marriage status there. Many people tick as a single, even though you got some the partnership, or you got some any relationship with other people. So I did it before for definition of legal state, marriage status before, but for your tips, and then I will give some advice again here. Okay, so some country got some confused of the relationship for that, and I can make some more defined. So you can see, then when you apply for New Zealand visa, and then in the application form, there are many legal marriage status like a tick. So We can say male friend and then female friends there, and then this is a totally friends, like a no relationship each other. So like some country says like a male friend and female friend, like okay, this is my girlfriend, this is my boyfriend, but this is not acceptable in New Zealand. So if just friends for a different like a sex, like different gender, and we call this a male friend. This is my female friends, only for friendship, no relationship at all. But if you more closer each other, then you can say, okay, this is my boyfriend, this is my girlfriend. Means for you start to of relationship each other. Uh, when you like a male partner or I mean a boyfriend girlfriend, they have their own living place, but like they started to dating or eating and then traveling and then the relationship. Sometimes the boyfriend visit for female girlfriend's house and then sleep there, and then maybe girlfriends visit to like a boyfriend's house, sleep there, but they still keep their living place for like some separately, and then this is we call this boyfriend and girlfriend. Then if they really want and then they started to living together, or like then we call this is a partnership. So a boyfriend move into girlfriend's house, or girlfriend move to a boyfriend's house, or they rent or buy some the house in a different place and then start to living together. Then we call this relationship is already start. Then depends on the formality. Then we call like if there's any formality such as engagement and such as for marriage, and then if the engagement is done, we call the fiance, and then this is my fiance, then like that. And then if you officially get married, and then we call this is my husband, this is my like the wife, and this. But even though you're living together and then getting a babies or babies born, and then you call this as my partner. Some people like confuse the partner means for business partner, but like a partner means for in this one we call like a de facto relationship, just like a living partner. So even though partners relationship or sometimes a de facto relationship, and then so we call the other party as a partner. So, but if you got some separation or divorce, and then in an application form there are separation or divorce, then you can tick there, and then widow and widower, and then you can tick there. So in the case, some country people like mistakenly or misunderstanding of marriage status. So even though they live together, get a baby together, but not officially married, and then they tick as a single, and then this is very confused, and then will be a later very a big issue for like a character issue. New Zealand immigration accepted as providing any false information, and then will be a character issue there. So this is very a difficult situation. And also in New Zealand, not only for married couple or like can be applied for residence or work visa or residence visa. Any people who are not not legally like get married, but not legally for cleared yet, means not legally divorced. But if the people living together, still you can claim as under the partnership, like living together. This is for a little different from other countries or some countries. Then you may know that. Okay. So then I can say that for the partnership basis, for you have to prove of like a very important thing, and then some country has a different legal system, and then New Zealand has a different legal system. So they are always like a confused of different jurisdiction and how the law apply each other. And then in New Zealand is we are like a common law system, means for we don't have any we common law system is for practical matter is more important. Some country, such as like a German, Japan, and Korea, we call this a civil law, and then act is a more key matter. And then even though you got married for in a documentation for marriage status, even though you do not live together, but they are officially legally recognized as a husband-wife status. And then this is a big difference in New Zealand. Even though you get married, and then even though you have some marriage certificate is still there, but in New Zealand, when you apply for partnership basis, and then they see real things from now. What is status? Are you living together, or like are you like not living together? So this is a key matter. That means for marriage certificate itself is just one of the proof of your relationship. So then you have to prove of your older relationship with a very objective documentation. Then you prove that you are a relationship. When you apply for the partnership, and then it is very important to understand what documentation you need to prove of your relationship. I can say that for your relationship with like a man and woman, for relationship is a very like some subjective. Then I do sometimes a joke then say your relationship only for knows for 3 people, like the man partner and the woman partner, and then for only God knows that for relationship, nobody knows that. But however, if you live it together and get a baby, then this is a very good objective evidence that your relationship is genuine. But until got some baby born, and then very subjective, and then only for this believe or not. So practically, realistically, there are so many people that challenge to abuse of this partnership, the visa system, to get an entry into New Zealand, and then they got some for residence visa in New Zealand, because this is only for relationship based, and then no other requirements such as a high salary requirement or such as for English requirement. So some people try to abuse of this the partnership basis, and then there are the case of this very cautious for handling this assessment of the partnership. So sometimes it's very easy to get a residence, residence or work visa under the partnership. Sometimes it's very difficult to get a visa under the partnership. So I can say this is sometimes far easy or sometimes far difficult, not in the middle. And then partnership cases always consider that, okay? So then for the partnership, you have to understand for in the partnership, like broadly, you have to prove like some 2 words means for your relationship is a genuine. So you have to prove the genuine by providing all of your evidential objective documentation, such as for marriage photos, and then or any joint account, or like some for your relationship publicly recognized by your family members or friends or any your community, and then or any letters or documentation to address to like delivered in the same living place. For this kind of things, for very good evidential documentation. And also you have to prove for like some stable, like your relationship shall be genuine and stable. Stable means for the past 12 months, and then your relationship is stable or not. And then also sometimes like a case of, so we'll see for next 12 months will be stable or not. So the time period of application for a case of, so we may see more past of 12 months, and then or like they can see for in the future 12 months period will be have been stable or will be stable for that period. So when you provide for documentation to immigration, and then you may see for like some documentation to proof of the for last 12 months, and then this is better. Some people like provide for like a 1 month older documentation for to prove that's a relationship. Also, this is good. However, this is only for can be used as for genuine relationship, but for a proof of the a stable relationship, and then you can provide some spread of for like last 12 months for randomly, and then for all the documentation to show for last 12 months was a very stable relationship. This is also like a very important thing. And then also most of documentation to prove is for all the liability or all the right or interest is being shared by for couple or partner is a very important concept. So then when you prepare all the documentation, you may consider this case, right? And then maybe you can get some any questions, and then the matter we can discuss of the cases like that.
For the benefit of the viewers who weren't in the live last time, I will repeat some of the questions from the live that was and the questions from the last live. So what are the requirements that the visa holder needed to complete in order to bring their family or partner in New Zealand?
Yeah, as I like summarize here, and then if you want to bring your family and then here in New Zealand, and there is some requirement there. Basically, for you need to prove your relationship is genuine and stable. This is a key matter. To prove like some genuine stable, then so you have to prove provide for all other evidential documentation there, and then this key matter, and then inner details. I wouldn't describe here what documentations need, but like I can say for you are financially interdependent, and then you are sharing for like some the other matters together as a legally married husband and wife. This is a good matter, and then your liability as well for also you provide for evidence of you are living together, you are publicly recognized of your relationship, and then also you are from your parents, your family, and then your relatives, and then your friends, and then this is also an important thing. However, in New Zealand, for and the visa under the partnership is we got some two category for under the residence visa category, under the temporary visa category. Means for work visa under the partnership, and then residence visa under the partnership. This is a different requirement. Under the residence partnership, under the residence visa is for you have to prove for genuine for like some stable relationship only to the one. So that means if your partners were in your are in your like a country, and then principal applicants is only for in New Zealand for some period, at least more than 1 year, then you need to prove your older relationship like some continuously for last 12 months, and then this is key matter. However, when you apply for work visa under the partnership, and then depends on your visa status, and then you can bring your family member or you cannot bring your family member, right? That means for this is a little like complicated for visa status, but in New Zealand we can say when the got a job under the essential work visa, we say this is a lower skilled, and then middle skilled, and then the higher skilled. So this category is classified. I mean, there on for then maybe I can explain in later on when we deal with for essential work visa there. Then simply for this lower skill and the middle skill and the higher skill is for depends on your skill level, and then for your job title, your job description is recognized as a lower skilled or non-skilled, like there or depends on your salary payment, like then this is a combination of classify of like lower skill, middle skill, and higher skill. If your job is categorized as a lower skill, and then you cannot bring your family members, then or principal applicant should, only come to New Zealand, work for like 1 year, maximum 3 years, and then you need to go back to your country. And in such a case, for New Zealand government, not allowed to bring your family members because lower skill is very hard to move forward to next stage of the residence visa. So if your case is lower skilled, then you cannot bring your family member. But if your position is mid skill or higher skill, then you can bring your family member, and then you can prove your relationship, and then it'll be okay.
Okay, so I have one of our clients that has a similar situation that you just have described. So I am currently holding a work visa as a low-skilled worker. I am working as a customer service manager. Will I be able to bring my partner to New Zealand?
Okay, the question is very interesting. He defined as his job is a lower skill, but he mentioned his job title as a customer service manager. And as far as I know, okay, a customer service manager is a skilled job, and then I think his salary is lower than maybe $20.65 per hour, and that is the reason why his job is like a lower skilled. So in that case, if job is a lower skill as a customer service manager, in that case he cannot bring his family members into New Zealand. But if he works very hard, and then he himself or herself to prove like a good employee of that employer's company, and then employer may increase his or her salary over $20.65, and then his job will be like a middle skill, and then he or she can bring the family member into New Zealand. Yeah.
So one of the viewers have asked the questions.
Yeah.
I'll read out, but about the dairy farm,
Yes.
any rules for that getting skilled?
Okay, it's in a dairy farm is quite interesting the position, and then same as for okay, this is okay, so hang on. Okay, so this is Mr. Sandui. Okay, okay, so nice to okay, you got a good questions. This is about for dairy farm. Any rules for that's getting skilled? Okay, for in New Zealand there are around like some 11,000 farms there in New Zealand. Like this is roughly right 11,000 farms there. Huge number of farm workers are required in New Zealand, and then all the farm owners are very struggling to hire farm workers. Sometimes the farm is far away from the city, far away from the town, and a very isolated place. So in a farm, and then farmer is a skilled job, and then also like some farm manager is a skilled, and a herd manager is a skilled job, and also they usually pay the good salary for them, and then in such case. Like a farm worker is same as for classified as lower skilled or middle skilled or higher skilled. If the position is a farm worker, farmer, or a farm manager, herd manager, then this is a skilled job. And then if the payment is over $20.65, and then you can bring your family members. However, if your position is just like a farm worker, and then can be considered as a non-skilled, and then even though your higher salary payment is still like lower skilled. But if your payment is around maybe $36.44 over, then this can be still like considered as a higher skill. Then you can bring your family member. but as a farm worker, getting $36.44 per hour is not easy, not realistic. So not easy for that. It's for summary, and then as a farm worker or farm work related, and then if your position is a farmer or manager, and then your salary is over $20.65, and then your position will be middle skill, and also your whole like income shall be over roughly $43,000. My memory is for per year $42,944 $0.20 over, then you are qualified to bring your family members. So as a farm working, and then your position shall be farmer or manager, and then your salary over around $43,000, then you can bring your family members.
I got some other questions from the online viewers.
Yes.
I currently have a 2-year work visa, essential skills. I want to support my partner's visa. If she gets approved, how long will her visa be for? And does she have to take IELTS?
Okay. Like I can say this is like two questions there, two issues there, and then English requirement matter. I can say answer that one. This is more easier, simpler one. And all the temporary visa in New Zealand, such as for like a work visa, and then the partner doesn't need any English requirement. So when he applied for work visa under the partnership, doesn't need any English requirement. However, if apply for a residence visa under the partnership, and then all the partner or like some dependent family member who are over 17 years old, and then has to prove or has to provide for English requirement. But in this case, English requirements is IELTS 5 or other English exam, the equivalent to there, so not 6.5, okay? And then, so when apply for work visa under the partnership, and then, sorry, can you repeat that questions again for middle skill or?
So she has he has essential skills visa.
Okay, essential skills work visa is quite like some the good terms, but as I told you earlier, essential work visa, there is a 3 category of the visa. Job will be for lower skill, middle skill, and a higher skill. That means if you got some 2 years work visa, then I think this is a middle skill. But if the work visa, 2 years visa now, maybe then you have to check it whether your work visa is a grant after August 28th of August 2017 last year. Then your visa is maybe middle skill. But if your work visa is granted before August 2017, and then only for assessment requirement at the time is for only for the skilled job or non-skilled job. So your job is, I believe your job is a skilled job, but if that your visa was granted before August 2017, now you have to check that whether your payment is payment is over $20.65, and then if you want to bring your children, and then you have to check for your whole year income is over 43,000, then you can bring your family member. But even though your job is for middle skill in New Zealand, then you can bring your family member. So depends on when your visa was granted for 2 years visa as an essential work visa, then depends on situation, maybe like some change. In this case, please contact us, then I'll give you more clear advice to you, and then you can send email to us, right? So any people who got a more like questions, and then you want to be assess your actual visa status in the case, and then everybody got some different situation, different status, and then you can send an email to for visa apply at cantonlaw.co.nz. You can see this one, and also please do for visit our Facebook, and then put like some follow, and then like, and then in the main page, and then this is good for you. And then whenever we get some new information, you will get the information access. Thank you so much, and then send us your details, and then I can give you for 80 people for assessment. And then okay, thank you. Bye bye.